just diving right on into the Boomerang Cup in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the Bangkok Rush. It is one of the tour levels. I'm playing as Black Birdo with the white bow and the blue eyeshadow. Oh boy, my name is BricksOBrian, playing the last of the DLC, the newest in the booster course. Again, I played a little bit of this before because I accidentally, like I said previously, messed up the recording, but you don't really care about that. A lot of people in their videos are like, oh, I'm doing this for the fifth time because I messed up my audio. And you know what? It doesn't really matter because you're already having to redo it. So, you're already having to redo it. You're already needing to redo it. So why even bring up the fact that you messed it up in the first place? Just pretend like you're smacking yourself into a wall with a piranha plant. No, pretend like you're doing it for the first time and go about it that way. That's what you got to do. And that's what I didn't do because I just told you that I messed it up. And you know what? You never would have known that if I just kept that to myself. Look at those boomerangs. Look at those boomerangs. Now that I have, okay, that's fine too, Yoshi. Thanks, man. You didn't even use your super horn while I was sending that off to you because you're a computer and you don't know any better. Is that going to fix the problem? Nope. Okay, wonderful. So it's been, okay, obviously that too. It's been a little bit of a weekend. I had a hangout session with friends yesterday, but the main highlight was I went to a convention, technically. I went to New England Comic-Con with my buddy and artist of my children's book, Pro Gamer's Guide to Healthy Habits. I went with Kevin and hung out at his booth essentially all day, making sure that he had somebody to help him out as he was doing his artist thing, because those conventions can get pretty hectic, especially in the very early morning or afternoon. So I decided what better way to spend my Saturday instead of, you know, going to Los Angeles to a red carpet premiere event for some TV show I'll never care about, than to help Kevin at New England Comic-Con. And I essentially sat at the booth and I managed to, I don't know, take orders while people were requesting stickers and stuff. You know, it's a thing I like to do. Help out Kevin, hang out with him for the day. I haven't seen him in a little while. So, like I said, yeah, those crowds can get pretty hectic. But normally when I go to a convention or do something, I like to have like a plan of what I'm doing. Or I'm like doing a bunch of stuff, like a meet and greet or a panel or something or another. So I managed to not do any of that and just kind of hung out for the day. Most of the people that were at the convention who were guests and all that were like over 60 years old, and I wish I was kidding, but that's legitimately like the age demographic of the people here. Here's Mario Circuit. It was out in Boxborough, Massachusetts, which really has nothing going on. There is nothing happening in Boxborough, Massachusetts that's even worth exploring at all. Like, I went to a McDonald's to get lunch for Kevin and I, and it was closed, and there was nothing else in the city or town of Boxborough, Massachusetts where I could order food from. Literally nothing. How is there no food of any kind when you're going to a convention, like outside of it? They had the restaurant that was attached to the hotel, but that's about it. It's called the Minuteman Grill, and you know what? It's one of those places that you go to in life where you're a little bit down on your luck. You know, you're arguing with your wife. Your daughter went off to, you know, hang out with that biker kid at school that you're not a fan of because he's a bad influence. And you go there to meet up with your buddies from your dead-end electrician job and talk about how bad life is. And it's actually your fault because you don't hold any accountability for the actions you have for yourself and the people around you, and not making your voice heard in terms of your relationships with the people you have. So you could have done something about it, but instead you're just sitting there wallowing and complaining, which is never the solution to anything. So that's the kind of vibe that the Minuteman Grill in Boxborough, Massachusetts gives off as I think about it a little bit more. It is not the place you want to go. It's also the kind of place you go where you want like a quesadilla, but it's like made as an American quesadilla, or they'd call it like a quesadilla, where it has like American cheese slices and frozen chicken chunks in there with barbecue sauce and onions. And it's like, that's not a quesadilla. That's not how a quesadilla should be. That's not what it is. But I'm really dunking on Boxborough, Massachusetts, but it's kind of true. And I think the people of Boxborough would agree too. There's a decent amount of people there. But between the venue of the hotel, this has nothing to do with Mario Kart, by the way, but whatever, I'm tired. Between what the venue looks like, the Minuteman Grill, the types of guests they had at the convention itself, it was a very, like, older crowd in general. Fans of, like, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s that were like, oh, those are the glory days. Waluigi Stadium is pretty cool. Interesting thing about this side tangent before I get back to Duncan on Boxborough, Massachusetts, the mud here really makes it difficult to slide around. So you can definitely notice as you're riding here, like, is a little bit of slippage happening on the mud. So keep that in mind as you're riding through. You're turning a little bit more sharply, and that especially factors in once I get over to 200cc. So that's pretty spicy. But it was a time, right? There was enough people there to keep it interesting. What really helped actually was the ground was made of carpet instead of it being like on a very hard concrete of like the Boston Convention Expo Center or anything like that. It wasn't any of that. It was just it was carpet inside of a ballroom where Kevin was stationed. So that's pretty good. So I wish I had. Oh no, I'm good. Okay. I thought that was a blue shell, but nope, that's fine. So all of the people that were there as guests were like, I want to say like C-level celebrities. Like it's close enough that I would have a certain amount of fans show up and it would rival probably some of the people that ended up being at the show. And it's not like they're getting the very, like, I don't want to dunk on people too much or at all really, because, you know, people work in their careers and they build up a livelihood and a presence and all that over years. But you have to have a fine balance between like new people that are up and comers that would really benefit from the opportunity of being at a convention, as opposed to some of the people who, you know, they are going because they got asked to, or it's the only people that they could get. And so, you know, when, like an example, and this is obviously not a deterrent on anybody who is a guest at the New England Comic Con or otherwise, because I could very well be a guest at one of them in the future. I have no idea. But one of the people that they have for the upcoming Wizards convention, they have a whole, like, Wizards convention, and it's being headlined, like, the main person they have for the convention is the Weasley brother that is the brother to Ron and the twins and Ginny. Like, it's the one that appears in the 6th movie for, like, 20 minutes to do the wedding, and then all the Dementors show up and they never mention him ever again. That is the headliner. And so, you know, that's fine. But, like, you know, you could probably get some, you know, newer, fresher faces in there. Other people from the franchise that would be very much so appreciated, I'm sure. Please just let me cross the finish line real quick. Thank you very much. Nice. I saw that, or heard that blue shell coming toward me there. But, you know, get some fresh whoever in there. So I didn't go to this convention to, like, meet celebrities, wait in line, or do anything else like that. I went to help out Kevin and go for, I guess, the exhibition hall, which actually the exhibition hall is also reflective of the clientele. The exhibition hall had a whole bunch of old stuff. Like, you know, when you go to a hobby shop or a retro toy shop and they have like all the, like, the dusty 1979 land speeder from the first Star Wars movie as a toy. Like, that's kind of the stuff that was there. I'm not lying to you. That's kind of what we were working with over there. So, like, the Lego was probably the most interesting thing of any of the bunches. And there's obviously, you know, the anime and the whatever stuff, but, like, you know, nothing remotely interesting, in my opinion. I did not buy anything. Actually, I bought one thing. Which was a commission from Kevin. Because Kevin is an independent artist. He now has a full-time job, or it's semi-full-time. It's close enough. And I always like supporting his work, whether it be commissioning him to do Pro Gamer's Guide to Healthy Habits, or commission, hand-drawn, or otherwise. So sometimes when I go to the conventions, I say, hey, you know, if you want to make a little bit extra money, you want to whatever, I'll pay you for a commission. Yeah, just to kind of help. I don't know what hit me right there, but okay. Okay, sure. And I hit myself again. That's fine. So I'll ask him to do a commission of some kind, just for the sake of it, you know. So I had him do a specific commission that I'm going to be sharing in the future, and I think I'm going to actually make a sticker out of it. So we'll see. We'll see what it is. But I'm going to let people on the inside scoop know first. So there's a bunch of ways you can find out the inner work. Oh, got Toadette as well. What a redemption arc. Wow. So if you want to know about the inner workings of BricksOBrian and all the spicy things as they happen, there's plenty of opportunities to figure out what I'm working on next. But I'm in 4th place. This is no bueno. A no bueno situation here. I got to really make something work in the next 10 seconds here, pretty much. This is not good. I don't know how this unfolded here, but okay. Peach only got 1. That's fine. That does not help me at all, actually. That does not help me even a little bit. Can I slide through here? Oh, yes, I can. Can I slide through here? Yes, I can. Wonderful. Let me get this first place real quick. Come on now. Don't let me stay in 2nd place here. Take that, Peach. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Blackbirdo saving the day there. All right, so I definitely got 3 stars there. I'm just going to jump right into 200cc, show you what these are like in that way. Forgive me for going rather quick here. I keep the energy locked and loaded at 1,000%, you know? So I got a commission from Kevin at the convention. I'll share it when I'm ready. But it's a very, very cool one, and it especially features an upcoming game release that I know a lot of people are very excited about. It's a game that people keep asking me if I'm going to play. So I'll reveal the artwork at some point eventually. But now I'm in 200cc, so this is going to be a difficult one. I did end up getting 3 stars on it before while I was doing my not-so-perfect recording. So it worked out really cool. Obviously not happening right now, but that's all right. Takes me only a few seconds to get back into 1st place, and clearly I need to take a nap because my gaming skills are not upholding here. So that's great. So, yeah, I ended up doing the convention. I hung out with my friends for a little bit. I don't think I did anything else over the weekend. I did, I did a couple of charity events, as I believe I mentioned before. The charity events went okay. The one that I was talking about, the Mario Lego stuff before, that one got cut a little bit short because I was, like, losing power in my office, which I can't really control. Actually, I can't control it all. It happened to, like, a bunch of other people across the board. The other one, which was a Mario Party charity event, and it did not go as well as I wanted it to. So the people I was playing with were fantastic. They're fantastic creators, fantastic people, but they are not Mario Party savvy, or at least most of them weren't. So even though Mario Party is definitely a luck-based game through and through, especially toward the very end, there definitely is a level of skill when it comes to the mini games and the way that you kind of strategize. So, you know, there could be a little bit of sympathy for a new player or whatever, especially with how the game recognizes who the new players are and all that, but the skill disparity was too big, and that's my nice way of saying I was too good, and that I won almost every single minigame and then got the most stars over time and, you know, swapped with the right people and whatever. So, you know, like, what the immediate thing that came to mind was was when I was playing, you know, there's a snowboarding game where you press A, B, X, Y in that order over and over again to do 360s on the snowboard, and they add up over time for the higher score. And so what I did was I ended up getting the highest score and also beating my personal best record because I just mashed the buttons. I just know how to mash the buttons on Nintendo Switch more than they do in a particular way, and I could focus up on it in a different way. One of the people I was also playing with is like a mother to like 3 kids. So obviously, not to call kids distractions, but, you know, full attention was not at where it needed to be for Mario Party, which is totally fine. You know, you work with everything you got, and that's all you can ask for. But yeah, doing stuff like that made it pretty disheartening to play, I guess, would be the right way to phrase it, you know? So, like, some of the people I were playing with were used to playing on PlayStation, so they actually, and I've never done this before, but they changed the way the buttons are mapped on the Nintendo Switch so that the A and the B buttons were swapped like they are on PlayStation. So, like, when you press the X button on PlayStation, that's typically like the A button, like the accept. But on Nintendo Switch, it's B. So when you're playing the snowboarding game, the idea is that you're going in a perfect circle and not swapping around like you are if you have the buttons reworked. So there's obviously a need to like go back and change up the controls and all that. And it was just a lot of like that stuff that made it a little bit more difficult to play with them. So, and when one person is winning far and away more than some other people, and it's not like a close competition or anything, that's when it gets kind of boring. That's when it gets kind of uninteresting to watch. And also doesn't make it fun for the people that are playing. You know, if there's just one person that's getting everybody and whatever, like the point of doing a charity event like that is to make it so everybody's having a good time and it incentivizes people to donate and all that. So like I said, hey, you know, obviously I'm the guy that has the most skill here. So like for every $25 donation, wow, that's bizarre, especially on 200cc. Yikes. But for every $25 donation, I will let my hands off of the controller and not participate. So like, and then we changed it to like anybody who does it. So you could donate $25 and say, all right, well, I don't want Brian to use his hands for this upcoming minigame or whatever, like some other situation like that. So I tried to do stuff like that to make it more enticing for people to donate, but people were not, as they say, were not biting, you know? So either I think people found it a little more boring than I wanted them to, and you know, obviously times are tough right now, so getting a whole bunch of money for donations and whatnot might not be the most practical thing to do. You know, it was for Starlight Children's Foundation, so I didn't end up doing a campaign of my own. I just supported the people whose broadcasts I was on, so I was happy to do that. But yeah, it ended up not going as, I mean, it was still successful in that hundreds of dollars were raised for charity and then ended up going to a wonderful cause. So it's always a net positive, right? But what I like to do is I like to focus my energy into like, you know, make it a big event, make it a big important thing, you know, get people as involved as they possibly can be and hope for the best result across the board, you know? So that it happened, just not to the extent that I obviously would have liked to have seen, but it wasn't my thing to run, you know? I just showed up, played some Mario Party, and then left. So maybe next time can be a Mario Kart tournament for charity or something. That'd be kind of cool. So maybe something like that in the future, but obviously not right now. It was a whole like Mario Day themed thing. So right now I'm recording this on the 12th of March. I forgot what month it was, but I looked at the 3 on my calendar. My little thing on the computer. It says 3/12/23. 3/1/2/2/3. 3/1/2/2023. That's a very mouthful of things to say. Anyways, Singapore Speedway, the final one here, the 200cc Cup. Oh boy. Oh boy. I did get 3 stars on 150cc, by the way. So that worked nice, and I'm probably going to get it here as well. Again, I just like showing this. Mirror mode I never really bother with because it's the same course, you know? But I like showing it at a normal speed versus a higher speed to give you that gauge, you know, when you're playing on each. So whenever I do tournaments and whatnot with people, it is always at 150cc because, yeah, 200cc for some can be a bit too fast, even though I can handle it. Some other people can't take the heat, so that's whatever. But yeah, this cup, I'm like, you know, it's fine. I think there's 2 tour tracks in this one that I'm like, indifferent to. I'm not like, some of them are like I'm fairly indifferent to, like obviously going through a market and whatnot is cool, but then going through, like a lot of it's just like riding on the street, which is fine, you know, but not necessarily the most interesting thing gameplay-wise. Obviously going through the fountains and whatnot is pretty cool too, so it all works out in the end. So yeah, that was my weekend. Did the charity things, did all the convention things, hung out with friends. Pretty, I guess, fairly eventful, you know? I'm like, you know, I shouldn't really feel that tired, but I guess I did a whole day at the convention. It was what, 1 o'clock to 6, and then I went out to dinner, hung out with people. So a pretty long day, man. And then now we got to do the taxes. That's a big thing. Is that it's tax season, baby. I think I gotta file for an extension. I don't like. I want to. I got a lot of stuff going on. Not like bad stuff, just a lot of stuff that I'm like, I don't know if I did any of this right. So I got to make sure I get my information situated, make sure that I'm not accidentally defrauding the government, which is not what I'm trying to do. It's not the goal. That is not a pro gamer move. You want to abide by all of the things all the time. So you fill out all the forms, cross those T's, dot those I's, and do those things, just like I am with the Mario Kart 8 Booster Course Pack Wave 4. The Boomerang Cup is complete. The 3 stars are acquired, and until next time, keep on meowing it out. I'll see you for more karting soon. Bye.